Let's look at Jeremiah chapter 10. Why am I turning here? Well, these are the verses that everyone always turns to whenever they're like, oh, look, Christmas is pagan. You know, Christmas is pagan because Christmas trees and druids. Let's just start in verse 1. It says, hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. The theme of the Old Testament is that Israel would look at the gods of the people around them and say, I want to serve their gods. What is the way of the heathen? Is the way of the heathen decorating their house? The way of the heathen is Leviticus 18, where God is talking about all the wicked sins that these people commit, like sleeping with their grandchildren and burning their own children in the fire. That's what God's talking about. God is talking about major sins here. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. What are the signs of heaven? The stars, the sun, the moon. That's the host of heaven, which everyone else worships. They'll look at these verses and they'll be like, you see, God was prophesying about Santa Claus. Remember, Santa is wicked. Going somewhere where somebody is dressed up like him is evil, because that is a God that people worship. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about little things like decorating or putting a sign up that says like Jesus' birth. People think the whole thing is what God is angry at. Meanwhile, it's not talking about that at all. Let's keep going. Verse 3, for the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with an axe. He's talking about Christmas trees. No, keep reading. Verse 4, they deck it with silver and gold. Oh yeah, they make plastic tinsel in 4000 BC. That's when they started inventing plastic. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as a palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. Who's the them there? Is it a tree? No. What are they doing with the trees that they cut out of the wood? That is talking about making an idol. People think that idols of gold and silver are pure gold all the way till the middle. Do you know how expensive that would be? No, they don't do that at all. They take wood, they carve it, and then to deck means that they melt down the gold and they cover this idol that they have formed of whatever form it may be, a beast, a man, part of the host of heaven, and they cover it in gold and silver to worship it. And then they fasten it in a way that it stands upright so that they can worship it without it like rolling down a hill. And it says in verse 8, but they are altogether brutish and foolish. The stock is a doctrine of vanities. Silver spread into plates is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Uphaz, the work of the workman, and of the hands of the founder. Blue and purple is their clothing. They are all the work of cunning men. If a child can set up a tree in your house, they're not a cunning man. What they're talking about is the people whose profession was to make idols for worship. Nothing to do with Christmas unless you have an idol in your house. And it says in verse 11, thus shall you say unto them, the gods that have not made the heavens and the earth, even they shall perish from the earth and from under these heavens. They're talking about gods that they worship. That's what they were doing. They were making gods. They weren't setting up a Christmas tree. They weren't doing that. He's talking about something that they deck with silver and gold, a gold-plated idol.